Welcome back to Rappin' Dough. We get to the root, not just results. You dig? Today we gonna unpack something heavy, some heavy luggage. So it's not just money tonight, but we missing foundation that makes money multiply. And what's that? That's the family, y'all. Yeah, let's keep it a buck though. Y'all know in our community, fatherlessness is costing us OD, big time. And it's not just emotionally, but definitely financially. I mean, you got single moms that's having to get two jobs. They have to try to raise sons into men. It's a lot. It's a lot there to unpack. Because you got to figure when dad is missing, guidance is missing, order is missing, and y'all know the impact of a father. Everybody knows the impact of a man in the house. There's only so much discipline a woman can give with that light, soft voice. Yeah, I mean, it's like a woman may have to go overboard in order to discipline. So when dad is missing, that discipline is missing, guidance is missing, order is missing. Even teachers tighten up when pop show up. You feel me? So we paying for that in the classrooms, we paying for that in the households, in the courtrooms. I mean, this ain't no shade. You feel me? It's just some truth. I mean, so recognition is the beginning of healing. So we're gonna get into that after this intro.
Rapping dope, rapping dope, rapping dope.
Yeah. So like I was saying, it's not just boys though. It's not just our young men that need their fathers. It's girls too. Like bottom line, because we have to keep it all the way funky. Fathers just don't. They don't just protect. It's more than that. Fathers establish standard, and I even recognize that with my pop. You feel me? They set the tone, pretty much. They set the tone for how money is viewed, how manhood is modeled. Especially for our young fellas, because I mean that if a father is not there in the house for a little boy, where do they learn manhood? First place you look is outside. You looking for the old head or the older guy in the hood that he might be selling drugs. You know what I mean? Because he seems the coolest. You feel me? So without pop in the house, being the first line of defense, being the first man that they witness, you have to seek elsewhere for that father image that kids are looking for. Now, as adults, these as we're the new adults, we have to come to terms with that. We're the new adults. So from that side, looking in, sometimes with all that we have to do, especially the moms, all that they have to do, it's kind of hard for them to see from the kids' perspective. All kids are looking for their father for this guidance. I mean, that just is what it is. So fathers do more than protect, they set the standard. You feel me? They also um, establish or set the tone for how conflict is handled. Um, they also make you recognize responsibility. They make you embrace responsibility. And being that the man should have more emotional stability, that is how he is establishing how conflict is handled. Because you don't have to look too far to see that our young men don't know how to handle conflict. even our young ladies. Some of them fly off the handle, you know, think they can just talk any old kind of way to men because they never had a father in the house to reel that in. So there's a lot of layers here when the father is missing out of the house. So when the father is not in the house, we have our young guys now. I mean, they want to call them YNs, and I'm not calling them the YNs. But when the father is missing, the boys are trying to become men by trial and error. And y'all know what trial and error do. You feel what I'm saying? You're getting locked up, you're getting expelled from school. You dig? When the father is missing, you got the girls seeking validation, and a lot of times through chaos. That's what I'm gonna call it. I mean, you can call it a whole lot of things, but we have our girls seeking validation because when the father's in the house, they're the first man to tell them, "Hey, you look pretty today," or uh, take you shouldn't wear that because you already look good because of XYZ, or you're prettier when you do this or do that. Not necessarily seeking it through the means of these chaotic ways that a lot of girls be seeking validation, but they never had their father as that first man to tell them that they are enough as is, or they are enough because they do XYZ, or they are enough because they don't do XYZ. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is when our young men are trying to learn how to be men through trial and error without being reined in, and the girls trying to seek validation through chaotic means, what happens is they become adults and they bring those traits into adulthood, and the cycle continues. They mess around and end up having kids. And then, like I said, the cycle continues. Like now their kids are seeking validation. Their daughters are seeking validation through eyelashes and trying to wear the smallest thing to school, because they never had it at home. They never had validation at home from the first man that they experience, which is the father. So if they go through life with these characteristics and thinking this is okay, now they become adults with these what's the word I'm looking for? They become adults with this skewed way of looking at things. So we have the perpetuation of the single parent households. Now, don't get me wrong, now single parent households, they get it done. A lot of moms, they get it done, but it's not without a cost. Now, we have some stats out there that show us the cost. Now, stats show that over 70% of Black children that are born to unmarried parents, um, you know, that increases the likelihood of poverty by 4 times. They say that kids that don't have their father in the house are more likely to drop out of school. They're more likely to end up in jail. They're more likely to become single parents themselves. This is all because the father is not in the house. Now it's become so normalized though that it's like we have a lot of women out here that think they don't even need a man. These are those characteristics that they carried into adulthood. Now they don't even think they need a man. If they had a father in the house, they would understand the purpose and the significance of having a man. This is why they don't think they need one, because they never had one. And they don't know the significance of it. They don't know the respect that they gain, the understanding that they gain, the emotional regulation that they gain. from having a father. They don't know nothing about it. They never had it. So they say you can't miss nothing you never had, right? So if they never had it, they don't even know that they need it. They don't even know that they're living a dysfunctional life. They don't even know. And this is happening in real time. But all of this affects our money, our bag at the same time, right? Because if you lack discipline as a man or woman, you lack discipline because you didn't have any discipline in the house. Because like I said, the mom is only so much discipline the mom can give with that sweet voice, mom voice. We need that balance of a man laying down law with a like the deeper voice is for a reason. We need that balance in the house. Yeah, got your mom, you know, loving you regardless, and you got the father with the stern love. So if you have less discipline, that equals more debt. Why? Because you're not disciplined with your money. You don't know any discipline. You're going to spend your money emotionally. Oh, I feel like shopping, even though you know you got rent to pay, right? You never had any structure in your house. Like your father telling you, yo, you know you have to get up in the morning. You know you have to go to school in the morning. Have your clothes already lined up so you don't have to worry. That's one less thing you have to worry about in the morning before school. That's structure. So if you don't have that, that equals poor being able to plan poorly. You plan poorly as an adult. So as an adult now you late to work regularly and you think it's okay because you never had nobody to give you structure when you was a kid. You see, you didn't have your father letting you know how to look into the future, how to save your money for investments, right? Don't spend all your money. You want to be able to make your money make money. So if you had less of that, right? Vision, seeing into the future. I mean, that's more, you're more likely to have high risk behaviors, meaning you don't see ahead, you don't see the benefits or the downfalls of your actions before you take them. So as an adult, you don't think ahead, you just fly off the handle and, like we see the young guys now just shooting people, killing people, and not thinking about the 50 years that they have to do now because they didn't have anybody to let them know about vision, seeing ahead when they was a young lad. They didn't have that. You see? Or another example, the father in the house telling you who you are. You're a young man. You're a young lady, right? Letting you know that um, you don't have to impress people. You can be yourself, right? Letting you know that you are already cool. You are already pretty. You don't have to overdo it. If you didn't have a man or a male figure planting that in you from an early stage, now you're more likely to have an emotional spending habits because people get super emotional and depressed with the scrolling of social media, especially the females, men too now because dad ain't in the house. They more emotional. They brought up with their mom. women are emotional creatures. So if that's not real, then now you want to shop because you feel depressed. You think somebody look better than you or doing better than you, so you get depressed, and now you want to go overextend yourself because you're emotional. You see how that works? So with no father in the house, that means money becomes emotional, not intentional, because it all draws back to our finances. It all boils down to our finances. You dig? So in essence, we'll be buying what we were supposed to be taught. We'll be buying what we were supposed to be taught. You trying to buy identity. You trying to buy emotional security. You see what I'm saying? But if you were taught that, you wouldn't have to look to buy it. This is the repercussions of fathers not being in the house. You see what I'm saying? So we don't, it's not that we're hopeless people. We're just unstructured. And this is what fathers bring to the table. They bring structure to the table. That's because we have this notion now that men are only for finances. That's the only thing that men bring to the table. No, men bring more than money to the table. Bring structure to the table. So what do? We start where we are. We need more fellas to step up, to show up. I mean, we have our young guys, making babies. Uh, but even if you wasn't shown structure, we need you to show up anyway, even if you wasn't taught. Start where you are. Women, we need the women to support this rebuilding, not repeating the broken patterns. We need women to support it. Because men follow behind what women doing anyway. It's supposed to be the other way around, but if women supported the keeping together, the holding together of the family, I think a lot of the fellas would start falling in line. I think a lot of the fellas would start falling in line. And we like to. Everybody want to chase the bag. Everybody want to be financially well off. But money multiplies, even if it's not just your family. Like money multiplies where there's unity, where there's one common idea. You can't build where chaos is. This is why you see when two people get together that's on the same page in business, that it just flourishes like almost effortlessly because money multiplies where there's unity. We need order. We need structure. We need some leadership. And the black household must be rebuilt, man. That means we need more fathers present. And with more fathers present, that means discipline to come back into the building. Children to start being led again. Because you don't have to look too far. Dad ain't in the house. The son is pretty much running the house, even if he on bullshit, telling the mom what to do. We got some moms that's scared to tell their kids what to do, scared to look in their room, scared of their own kids. Cause like I said, only moms can only do but so much. You dig? So drop a house in the comments though. If y'all feel where I'm coming from, drop a house emoji in the comments. So make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button as well and the notification bell for when I go live. And don't forget to hit the link in the bio. If y'all want to learn how to put a dividend portfolio together, y'all want to learn how to create a fleet, rental car fleet, get into the rental car business, or if y'all want to learn how to invest generally, hit the link in the bio. And also, if you haven't already, follow Rappin on IG for more legacy lessons like this. We talk about manhood and money and relationships. So make sure y'all go follow Rappin on IG. But yeah, we can't build wealth with broken homes. And for a long time, the system that we function in right now wasn't designed to keep the black father in the house. It seems like they took the black father out the house and replaced him with the government and welfare. Because you can't have both. So it's like a catch 22. You take the father out the house. Now there's not that much income, right? So now the mother needs financial assistance through the government. So in order to get that financial assistance, you can't have no man in the house, i.e., the father. So now the government becomes her man. Interesting. And not they don't just say they can't live there. They find erroneous ways to lock him up. And what does that do? That slows down his economic growth. Now he has a record which blemishes or tarnishes his way of getting gainful employment. Because what's the first thing they like to frown upon? A person that has a record. So you don't have the father in the house because he's locked up. And now the woman has to get financial assistance through the government, right? Now the father comes home from jail. He has a hard time getting a job. Whole time, the government is turning the woman against the man. He comes home inadequate. So now the woman is the leader of the household financially. And y'all know for some reason you give woman that financial upper hand. Some women don't know how to still be, still let the man be the man. So now that creates an imbalance in the house. So the system ain't designed to have the black father in the house. But it's up to us to start getting our shit together and make better decisions. We got to be present and we got to have a purpose. See, a lot of us are purposeless. And it's kind of hard for a woman to respect you if you don't have a purpose in life, a reason to get up in the morning. Because with purpose, that breeds power. That gives your voice a little bit more oomph in the house. So we can't even start talking generational wealth and imposing discipline on the house if you're not even in the house. You can't talk about getting to the bag while leaving your kid behind, like not even recognizing that you got a kid. You can't start talking about getting, you can't even talk about getting to the bag. We can't be financially strong while being emotionally weak, because that's what's going on. Everybody emotional and making emotional decisions. So we can't start talking about generational wealth building empires while ignoring the home situation. We got to stop thinking selfish. A lot of people not even thinking about the future. We have a F them kids era going on right now. Like I was at this comedy show and yeah, like the comedian, he made some type of joke. He was like, how many out there screaming F them kids? And you should have seen how many people was like, yeah, fuck them kids, F them kids. I was like, I don't have no kids yet, but it's like, damn, F them kids. Hmm. And then they wonder why the kids out here acting how they acting. We gotta we gotta love our community enough to care about our kids because the kids equals the community. Like so if we don't fix our family, pretty much we're gonna keep going down this failing financial rabbit hole. We have, the fatherless homes equal fear-based spending. All of this stuff goes hand in hand. No structure, no savings, no guidance, no growth. It all starts with us men being present. It grows the discipline. And with this discipline, that's going to equal our legacy that every one of us want to leave. You want wealth, rebuild the house, rebuild the home. We got to rebuild our mindsets. Instead of saying F them kids, like, nah, it's not F them kids. So that's what we on, man. We got to bring the fathers back. And that's what's really missing in our community. The fathers. Mothers been doing a good job, but like I said, it all has a cost. And those costs are too expensive. Bring the fathers back. This is Rappin Dough. Yeah, I know we keep it funky here. We walk in it. So let's build for real. See you on the next one.